All right, let's get right into it. We are talking about one of the toughest parts of pregnancy for any partner, the mood swings. We're going to cut through all the myths today and give you a real, practical guide to what's actually going on, and more importantly, what you can do to help.
So, does this sound a little too familiar? 1 minute she's crying because they got her coffee order wrong, or maybe because of a sappy dog commercial, and then 5 minutes later she's laughing her head off. It can seriously feel like you're walking on eggshells, right? Like you're trapped on an emotional roller coaster you did not sign up for.
And of course, when you ask what's going on, you get the same answer from pretty much everyone. Oh, it's just hormones. It's the classic line, the convenient, easy explanation that your friends, your family, even the pregnancy books seem to throw out there.
But what if I told you that simple answer is, well, mostly wrong? The real truth is a lot more complex, but understanding it is the absolute key. It's not just about surviving the next 9 months, it's about actually building a stronger relationship through it. So let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. We have to take on the biggest misconception right from the start, the whole hormone myth.
You know the myth, right? That pregnancy hormones just turn women into these irrational, emotional wrecks. But the actual research, it shows something completely different. For the vast majority of women, pregnancy is actually a time of particularly good mental health. Kind of surprising, huh?
And look, this isn't just some feel-good theory. The data is super clear. Statistically speaking, pregnant women are less likely to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital, less likely to attempt suicide, and less likely to suffer from panic disorders than women who aren't pregnant. So this whole idea of the hormonal basket case is just a stereotype. It's not reality.
So if the hormones aren't causing the emotions, what are they doing? Well, think of them like an amplifier on a stereo system. They don't write the song, they don't create feelings out of thin air. They just take a feeling that's already there, like frustration or fear or joy, and they crank the volume knob up to 11. It just makes those feelings harder to regulate. The key thing to get here is that the underlying feeling is totally real. It's the reaction that's getting amplified.
So if it's not some random hormonal chaos, what's really driving all this distress? The answer is way more logical. It's real life.
I mean, just think about what's happening. She's dealing with constant physical discomfort, pain, nausea, exhaustion. There's financial anxiety, real fears about giving birth and becoming a parent. Her entire identity is changing. These are huge, legitimate, real-world stressors. So when she seems to overreact to something small, it's usually just the tip of a giant iceberg. And the single biggest factor here, the one you have the most control over, it's the quality of your relationship. You can either be her greatest source of comfort or her greatest source of stress.
And that brings us to maybe the most critical point of this whole explainer. When you understand these real stressors, you start to see exactly why that default "it's just hormones" line is so incredibly damaging. This phrase right here. This is the verbal equivalent of just patting her on the head and saying, there, your very real problems don't actually matter. And here's its evil twin, calm down. I mean, let's be honest. Has that phrase in the entire history of human arguments ever actually made someone calm down? No, of course not. All it does is tell her that her feelings are an inconvenience for you.
Or this one, just as bad. You're overreacting. What you're really saying is that her perception of reality is wrong and yours is right. It is incredibly dismissive.
So here's the real damage these kinds of phrases cause. They dismiss the actual problem. They send a message that her own feelings can't be trusted. Over time, that completely erodes trust, because why would she come to you for support if you're just going to shut her down? It can even make her start to doubt her own sanity. It is, without a doubt, relationship poison. Okay, so that is a whole lot of what not to do. Let's switch gears and talk about what actually works. I'm going to give you a simple, practical framework you can use right in the heat of the moment. It's called the VAST framework, super easy to remember. First, V is for validate. Before you say or do anything else, just acknowledge the emotion. It can be as simple as, wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating, or I can see you're really upset about this. Next, A is for ask. Don't guess what she needs. Ask her directly, what would be helpful right now? Then S is for stay calm. Your panic isn't going to help. Just be a steady, patient presence. And finally, T is for take a break. If you feel yourself getting angry or overwhelmed, it is 100% okay to say, you know what, I need to take 5 minutes to clear my head and then we can talk. And all of this, the whole framework, is built on one crucial shift in your mindset. Your job is not to stop the crying. It's not to fix the problem. Your job is to help her feel heard and understood. That's it. That's the whole goal.
Okay, now, while most of these mood swings are just amplified responses to very real stress, it is absolutely critical that you know how to spot when it might be something more serious. We need to talk about the red flags for clinical conditions.
I want you to pay close attention to this number. 40%. That's the percentage of postpartum depression cases that actually start during the pregnancy. In fact, being depressed during pregnancy is the single biggest predictor of PPD.
So, what do you need to watch for? The two big things are persistence and severity. If you see symptoms like a deep sadness that just doesn't lift and it goes on for more than 2 weeks, if she's really unable to function day to day, or, and this is a true emergency, if she ever mentions any thoughts of hurting herself or the baby, you have to get professional help immediately. No hesitation.
This chart here gives a really quick breakdown. You've got the baby blues, which are pretty common and they go away on their own. Then there's postpartum depression or PPD. That's persistent, it messes with her ability to function, and it needs treatment. And finally, postpartum psychosis, which is very rare, but it's a serious medical emergency. Knowing the difference between these is a vital part of being a truly supportive partner.
So let's end on this thought. The emotional roller coaster of these 9 months, it's temporary. The mood swings will eventually pass. But how you choose to handle them right now, whether you respond with dismissal or with validation, with impatience or with empathy, that stuff builds the entire foundation for the parents you two are about to become. That is what will be remembered for a very, very long time.